Welcome to the second part of the customer relations in pharmacy. The steps to follow when receiving a new prescription at the dispensary counter. Confirm the patient's name on the prescription, first and last name. If there is a possibility of not being able to distinguish the first and last name, underline the last name. Make sure the customer's address is legible. Ask the customer whether he or she had the prescription filled here before. If yes, the customer will already have a patient profile with all the required information in it, and the phone numbers are useful to have in a patient's file. But if the customer is new, ask whether the prescription will be paid for in cash or is covered by a third-party plan. Will you be paying cash or do you have an insurance? If it is covered by a third party, ask to see the card and get all the required information from the patient. Check legibility of the prescriber's name and signature. Ask whether the patient wants to wait for the prescription and give an estimate of how long it will take. Answer any questions about price promptly to the patient. Patients in genuine need of the faster service should be served first. For example, a woman with a sick child. These prescriptions may be fast-tracked and placed ahead of others. How to detect the fraud prescriptions? First, know which drugs are written most often on the prescription, for example, OxyContin. Is the patient or the prescriber known to you? Does the patient live or work in an area? That is there a valid reason for the prescription to be filled at your pharmacy? If the prescription order looks too good, that is the prescriber's handwriting is too legible. Check the quantities, directions, dosage that differs from the usual medical standards. Unusual symbols, terminology, abbreviation. Directions written in full with no abbreviations. Use of whiteout on the prescription, different handwriting in the part, and the different colored ink in the parts. Addition or alternatives, for example, changing 30 to 80, like 3 is changed to 8. Overwriting, misspelling, erasers, photocopied, prescription blanks. Then situations to be taken care of while taking the prescription. Be suspicious if the patient is out of your normal reading area. Patient not willing to come back later to pick up prescription, so forgers are usually in a hurry to pick them up right now. If they're not giving you any identification and they refuses the part fills of the prescriptions. If they shows an intense interest in the layout of pharmacy, and if they present the prescription late in the evening or on the weekend when it is difficult to verify the validity with the physician. Check the date on the order. Has it been presented to you in a reasonable length of the time since the prescriber wrote it? Prescriptions written on hospital blanks. Beware of the scams such as crying babies in the arms, fine convulsions, a diversion by 1 or 2 people. Don't be conned into the filling a prescription for a friend or other association of the patient. Don't be pressured into rushing to fill an order before verifying the validity of a prescription. Do not rely on computer as being a verification. A drug seeking an individual may have been successful in his first attempt to obtain the drugs at your pharmacy by fraudulent means, and this may be entered into your computer. Always verify the prescriptions each and every time, and if in doubt, ask for identification. Take the prescriptions out of circulation, means when a prescription for a target drug is presented to you, stamp the back with your store stamp. This takes the prescription out of circulation. If your store does not carry a stamp, complete the prescription as usual even before you verify it. That is, print the prescription's name, complete the address, phone number, etc. on the face of the prescription. This way, if the suspect attempts to fill the prescription at their pharmacy, the pharmacist will be alerted to previous attempts to have it filled. Likewise, if you get a prescription with another store stamp on it, contact the store before filling. Always secure the positive identification. Treat the prescription like a personal check. If the patient is unknown to you, request identification and make note of same on prescription. If suspicious, ask for the driver's license, photo ID, or Alberta healthcare card, or the provincial healthcare card. Note the physical identification of the person, especially any distinguishable features such as scars, moles, etc. And if you suspect a forgery already, use delay technique. Like make a positive statement such as, your prescription will be ready at 5 p.m. and then contact the police so that they can be present upon the suspect's return. Do not physically restrain the suspect. Preserve the evidence. Retain the prescription if possible. However, if you feel your safety would be jeopardized and the suspect demands the return of the prescription, comply with the request. And finally, please notify the police. That's all.